Welcome to the top 5 games of 2018. Pokemon, the game that has dominated the handheld market since the 90s. So, their latest offering, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, for the Nintendo Switch, yet another handheld, is probably, arguably, one of their best games yet. It's definitely an improvement over Sun and Moon, and while I don't really want to go into the game, just in case you haven't played it, because I really don't want to ruin the magic of this game, so I'm not really going to be talking about the game much. There is one thing any hardcore Pokemon fan needs to be aware of, and that is, in case you are living under a rock and you're somehow a Pokemon fan, so the catching system plays like Pokemon Go, which I don't really know how I feel about that. It's definitely interesting at first, but it does get quite dull having a mobile game's playing mechanics, and I understand wanting to mix up the mechanics a bit, but I would have preferred if they had gone for another approach other than, we'll just copy Pokemon Go mechanics. Another little downside, or I don't really know, is that there's these extra moves you can get for Pikachu, and I can only assume Eevee, which are just overpowered, and I haven't completed the game, so I don't know if they don't get that good later in the game. As it is, they're very good, but it's not a bad game, and quite frankly, Pokemon is a franchise that will stay with me for a long time. So, moving on to number 4. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What am I thinking? Battlefront 2? That was released in 2017. Is he retarded or something? But, hear me out. There's 3 reasons I've decided to put this on the 2018 list. So, firstly, it's my video, go away if you're really this offended by it. Second reason, it was the tail end of 2017. Third reason, is that I didn't actually get to play it until 2018. That's personal, but again, if you're really this annoyed, go see a doctor if you're this, you have some anger issues. And I guess for a fourth bonus reason, the game has really improved since the original launch, with arguments over microtransactions and how greedy EA is, which we all know it, okay? DICE, I'm 90% sure they were trying to save the game, but man. And the real problem was just the microtransactions, because I played it for a good chunk of about 4 hours today, literally today, and it's improved, a lot. The microtransactions are completely gone. And without them, the only real problem now is the lack of a player base, which unfortunately would probably be here if they weren't all scared off by microtransactions. So, that sucks. But they've been adding a lot more content as well. They added, I believe, 3 new, I can't remember, it was 3 or 4. I believe they added Finn. I think Captain Phasma was added in later, and just recently they added General Grievous and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm just trying to remember. They added, I think it was only 2 maps, 2 to 3, but the only ones I know of are Crate and Geonosis, which was added with Grievous and Obi-Wan. And they've also added a new sort of mini campaign, which is, well, the original campaign was very, very short, and even with the mini campaign, which I cannot remember what it was called, It's not particularly impressive, the new campaign, but you know, it's only like 2 hours, which buffs the entire campaign up to 6. And I'm not going to spoil anything. It's not particularly good, but if you're looking for more single player action, there's that, I guess. And that's about all I have to say about Battlefront. I don't think it ever really deserved the slack it got, but I guess we can't let EA get away with these microtransactions. So all I really hope for Battlefront 3 is for them to not do this microtransaction thing, just so that the game can have more of a player base. And other than that, I really don't see any other problems coming up in the near future. So moving on to the 3rd place, and here's where it starts to get hardcore. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Well, one thing I must say is that Origins really didn't leave with a high mark to follow, so whatever came with Odyssey had to be at least better than what had come prior. And it did. And look, I haven't played many Assassin's Creed games. I played, can't remember. I haven't owned any other than Odyssey, but I have played Origins, and I played one other one. Behind all the ones earlier than Origins, I honestly, they're all a blur. They're all pretty much the same to me. But anyway, so one thing I can definitely tell you is, even judging by literally gameplay footage, which I did watch all games, except for maybe like the second one I haven't. Well, essentially, Odyssey is definitely, if probably the best game of Assassin's Creed. And I will tell you why. A surprisingly good element was, there's an element of choice, almost telltale style, where you choose your own story and choose whether to side with Athens or Sparta. But there's one bit in the story, I really don't want to give spoilers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you a spoiler warning. Well, I just did, but a time frame to skip to, so you might just have to skip around for a bit. But so there's one bit. So prior to this part of the game, you get given choices, but as far as I'm aware, none of them, they're just really dialogue options to change things around. I mean, they can change the side quests around, I suppose, but the actual main campaign. But one thing that does happen is, I'm sorry for spoiling this, but I just have to talk about it, is basically you were born a Spartan, your dad threw you off a cliff, blah blah blah, and someone gives you a mission to kill your dad because he's like a Spartan leader. So you go over, you're given a choice to kill him or not. Oh, I killed him, and then you have to fight some people and escape the island you're on in Greece. But there is an option which I believe is a pacifist option, which is to not kill him, and you might end up killing him at the end of that anyway. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I didn't look in this video because I'm lazy. But what I don't really like about this is, if you chose so you're meant to be given the decision between Athens and Sparta, but I would like to have the decision put clean and clearly in front of my face, because if you let him live, surely you side with Sparta or something, right? Anyway, that's just me. So if you want actual gameplay, it's phenomenal. I have not finished the game. I have not unlocked all of the abilities. What I do know is that it's very, very good. I like the sort of it's hard to explain. I like the sort of method of like having a button other than R2 as an attack button, which is a main attack button. R1 is quick attack, which is actually the main attack. I use R2 more just because I'm used to it. See, this sounds weird, but R1 is like a better button. I don't know, it's just more quicky and fast than R2. So yeah, I might not be booming about this game, but everyone's been saying how good it is. I don't need to prove myself, do I? And also I just want to move on to number 2 and then number 1 and then finish editing this thing and then upload it. So on to number 2. The next 2 games have been bouncing around in my head for the last 3 days, but finally I've come to a decision. The game I'm giving second place for 2018 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This game is amazing. I cannot praise it enough. The gameplay and progression is entertaining and fun. The animations for attacking are vividly different for each character and make the game entertaining to just simply watch. I love the progression system. It is so clear as to how well you are doing, and I found it more entertaining to unlock new characters than to actually play with the game completed. The only reason this game lost over my number 1 spot is because of these 2 downsides. Number 1, there are these like weird spirit things that really confuse me as to which ones I should use in what situations. And to be quite frank with you, they're pretty pointless. And number 2, this one may seem nitpicky, but you can't use smashes while using one Joy-Con. This means that you can't use smashes while playing with your friends on the couch. And honestly, playing with your friends on the couch is the staple of Smash Bros. Well, unless you want to use the god-awful online. And now it's time to reveal the best game of 2018. In this super awesome open world game, you play as the one and only amazing Spider-Man. In this game, you have to take down gangs and bosses before they take over New York City. It also involves puzzle-solving elements, such as when you play as Peter Parker and you have to solve puzzles in Dr. Otto's lab, where it is immediately made obvious who the main antagonist is. As you progress through the storyline, you unlock new suits to play as, but to be able to use these suits in-game, you have to build them with tokens that you earn by doing challenges in the city in your spare time. You unlock different types of tokens as you progress through the story. Oh, and it does help the graphics are phenomenal. So, what are my personal thoughts on this game? Well, I know every reviewer under the sun has said this, but this game really does make you feel like Spider-Man. There is an in-game fast travel system, but I only ever used it once. Even if I was going somewhere on the other side of the city, I would always prefer to swing there, just because I enjoyed the swinging mechanic so much. The combat is fluid and easy to understand, even to newcomers of this genre, such as myself. While I would normally now talk about some downsides, I really cannot think of any in this game. That is why Spider-Man PS4 is the best game of 2018.